We're at the Elimination Chamber and we kick off the show in style with a championship match. The hometown boy is in the building and he's here looking to successfully defend his World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor. But the Prince is equally looking to capture another World Heavyweight Championship, which we see when he immediately hits a coup de grace not even 30 seconds into the match. Yet CM Punk survives, which tells the story of the match as the challenger is constantly overwhelming the champion throughout. But no matter what gets thrown at him, the strange saviour continues to kick. And eventually, he starts to mount a comeback, including all his best shots, including, yes, the GTS. Which doesn't put Balor to sleep, so Punk just looks for one more, yet Balor is able to get out of his grasp, as he even nails a 1916 right onto his head. But even this doesn't keep Punk down for the free. So now the Prince lines up the best in the world for a shotgun dropkick, but he moves, leading to an inadvertent ref bump. As when this happens, we see Punk try for one final GTS, yet no one's home, as Balor drops him with a saving grace, following this up with a shotgun dropkick and coup de grace combination. But the referee is still down. Balor doesn't know what to do, yet Dominic Mysterio does, as he runs towards the ring, going under it to retrieve a chair. Well, this chair is not for CM Punk. Dominic Mysterio has just turned on Finn Balor, but why? Well, no one knows. But what everyone does know is that CM Punk is up on his feet and Finn Balor is down and out. So he picks up the limp corpse, hoists him up on his shoulders to nail one last GTS, going into the cover for only a 2 count. Balor lives, but for how much longer will this be the case, as Dirty Dom tries to weasel his way back into the match, though Punk removes him from the equation, getting caught with a surprise roll-up from Balor. Yet this desperate attempt for the win fails, as once both warriors rise, CM Punk takes Finn Balor back down and locks in the Anaconda Vice. The Prince has nowhere to go, but he refuses to tap. He won't give up, though he will pass out. CM Punk just manages to keep his Night 2 WrestleMania main event intact, and it's arguably all thanks to the Intercontinental Champion, Dominic Mysterio. But to the Chicago crowd, that doesn't matter, as their hero, the best in the world, still keeps a hold of his crowd. But up next, it's time for the first Elimination Chamber of the night, which features the woman. 6 superstars want to punch their ticket to WrestleMania 42 to face Jade Cargill, but only one can do so. So who will it be? Well, firstly, we start things off with Rhea Ripley and Asuka. And of course, due to their lengthy history, they don't hold back. They throw whatever they got at one another, yet Mommy is able to overwhelm the Empress of Tomorrow, even dropping her spine first onto the steel, but she isn't able to eliminate her, at least by the time Kiana James enters her first ever Elimination Chamber match at number 3. And she squares right up to Mommy, and naturally, she doesn't back down, as Rhea goes blow for blow with Kiana. Yet this all gets flipped on its head when Asuka reinserts herself into the fight. As while she initially gets on top of just Rhea, Kiana sneaks up on the Empress to almost eliminate her. Keyword being almost, as it's then them who go back and forth with one another. However, whilst you think entrant number 4 would add another layer to the contest, it instead takes them layers away. Raquel Rodriguez is gone just like that. It's an unbelievable sight, but Asuka looks to add Rhea Ripley to the eliminated list, even locking in an Asuka lock. She's got nowhere to go, though Rhea doesn't tap nor pass out, eventually fighting back. And with the Empress of Tomorrow stunned, the now former Women's Tag Team Champion takes full advantage of this, nailing another Riptide to pick up a second elimination. Now all that's left is Rhea Ripley and Kiana James, although them two are soon joined by entrant number 5. Tiffany Stratton is in, and she doesn't mess around, as she immediately takes down both Kiana and Rhea. Then she quickly looks for an early prettiest moonsault ever on Kiana, which gets avoided, as Miss James looks to take advantage, ultimately failing to do so, as once she's taken down, Tiffany Stratton and Rhea Ripley get to stand face to face. And Tiffy instantly goes for a float over Alabama Slam, getting caught into a powerbomb predicament, even though she is able to fight out of it. Yet as she does, Kiana James flies, taking them both out, as she even tries to cover Rhea, only gaining a 2, with the same result translating to Tiffany. And before she could do anything more, she gets distracted by the final entrant of the match. Alexa Bliss is in, and we're now down to 4 women, as Little Miss Bliss tries to make it free, going after Kiana James, though she ends up refocusing her attention onto Tiffany Stratton, as she completely overwhelms her, including hitting a Twisted Bliss. But that's when Kiana re-emerges and takes her out to the steel, and after doing the same to Rhea Ripley, she nails the 401k onto Tiffany Stratton, subsequently going into the cover. Tiffany is gone. It's another upset courtesy of Kiana James, who gets one over on arguably the favourite to win the match. But just because she managed to do this doesn't mean her chances of victory are any higher, as her follow-up 401k on Rhea Ripley gets caught into a riptide out of nowhere, scoring Barbie her 3rd elimination. We're down to 2, and we're down to Alexa Bliss and Rhea Ripley. We're in the dying stages of the match, and both women are trading shots with all the energy they can muster, although all it takes is her one big counter to turn the tide completely. And it comes when Rhea Ripley misses a headbutt, as Miss Bliss manages to connect the Sister Abigail DDT. And with that, she wins the 2026 Women's Elimination Chamber match. She's going to WrestleMania to face off against the Storm, and perhaps also a Queen. But regardless of that, it's time to find out if the hometown girl can leave Chicago with gold, just like her husband did earlier in the night. But to do that, she has to overcome the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Big Time Bex, who immediately retreats to the outside. She wants to put together a game plan, but AJ Lee's game plan is to just whoop her ass, as she naturally gives chase, ultimately leading to her getting bitten by the wolf. Becky Lynch is now in firm control of the matchup, and it stays that way throughout a vast majority of the contest. Every time AJ Lee attempts to mount any form of offense, he gets shut down by the man. Yet she won't take the beating lying down, as eventually, just like CM Punk did, she starts to make a comeback, as she's all over the champ, and now, no matter what Becky does, it's seemingly null and void. which crescendos in AJ Lee locking in the Black Widow. AJ Lee still has some more gas left in the tank, so Becky just looks for another manhandle slam, being swiftly blocked by the challenger, who locks in the Black Widow for the second time. And this time, there's no escape, there's no way out, as Becky Lynch taps out. AJ Lee is your new Women's Intercontinental Champion. It's her first championship win in over a decade. Everyone is elated at this, including perhaps a whole host of her next challenges. But now, it's time to find out what, or rather who, is inside the mystery crate, as it's revealed to be just a piece of paper, with it merely saying August 1st. Brock Lesnar is here. Brock Lesnar is in Chicago to announce that he will be officially retiring at SummerSlam. However, before he can finish his speech, he gets cut off by his future WrestleMania opponent. Obafemi is in the building, and he's here to go after the biggest dog in the yard. But Brock doesn't take too kindly to being interrupted, as he goes for an F5, though Oba is quickly able to get out of it and drop him with a fall from grace, as Obafemi, in the words of Stone Cold, arrived, raised hell, and left. But now, it's time for the main event of the evening, as it's time to find out who will go on to challenge Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship, as it's time for the men's Elimination Chamber match. And we start things off with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. But as the American Nightmare is making his entrance, he's assaulted by the WWE Champion. It's unbelievable, it's disgusting! Cody Rhodes is being screwed out of another WWE Championship opportunity. As following a Claymore, Drew picks up his title and leaves. But Cody does not, as he rises up from the ashes and still goes inside of the chamber, even though he's nowhere near 100%, and this shows as soon as the bell rings. Cody Rhodes lives, but that was his last gasp, as he struggles to even get up as Randy deliberates hitting the punch, ultimately making his choice. Cody Rhodes is eliminated just like that, and Randy Orton merely waits for entrant number 3 to enter the battlefield, which turns out to be Javon Evans, and he quickly avoids a RKO before trying to roll up the Apex Predator, failing to get the job done. So he does the one thing he's best at, as he flies. He proves he's a bouncy boy, as Randy Orton struggles to contain him, only managing to do so temporarily via chucking him onto the steel back first, in time for entrant number 4. Jey Uso is number 4, and he immediately takes down the Apex Predator with a super kick, as then he looks to run it back. Jey Uso is gone by another impressive OG cutter. But that's when LA Knight eventually enters the match, and that's when Jey Uso gets back up, as after dropping both Javon Evans and Randy Orton, the megastar just mocks but just eliminated main event Jey Uso, which leads to him snapping. Jey Uso has finally left, just in time for Trick Williams to enter the matchup last, screwing over the megastar, nailing him with a trick shot to pin and eliminate him. We're down to 3, but who will punch their ticket to WrestleMania? Who will fight Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship? Will it be Randy Orton? Will it be Javon Evans? Or will it be Trick Williams? Well, due to him being the freshest man of the match, Trick Willie dominates, putting them lemon pepper steppers into both Randy and Javon's gut, though this isn't enough for him, as after a further beatdown, he signals for another trick shot. However, he may have just forgotten who he is facing. Trick Williams is gone. We're down to 2, Randy Orton and Javon Evans. A rematch from 2024, and it gets to decide who will fight for the WWE Championship. And after some highly intense back and forth action, it's looking like it may be Javon Evans who will win, as his stamina is clearly far superior to the much older Randy Orton. But because he's older, it does also mean he's a whole lot more wiser. Randy Orton has done it. He's going to WrestleMania, and he's going to fight Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Or so, that's what we're made to believe in the moment. And if you like this story, I think this might interest you.